But I thought I'd talk a little bit about the block grant today and what that means to Johnson County. Most of you probably know that I did indeed vote for that, and actually every Johnson County senator voted for that. This was our only opportunity to do something for Johnson County. And much of that credit I give to Jim, because Jim's been very, very involved in that. And I think what it did for us was when we institute the new finance formula, then Johnson County is going to be at the table. And you probably know that Superintendent Trigg and Superintendent Henson both came out in support of that, both verbally and written. So I'm very hopeful that they will be at the table, and I believe they will. And that we just were not there last time. So I'm very excited about that. So let's see what else I was going to tell you there. Oh, I was going to tell you something else though, and because I just wrote a few notes here about things I think's wrong with what's happened with this current school finance formula. When it was implemented, we actually put in 2 weightings. When we very first did it, it was 2 weightings. Today we have 8 weightings. I mean, what's happened is this thing has only gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse for Johnson County, and we're all picking the tab up. So, the initial free and reduced lunch, the at-risk, was a weighting of 0.05 in 1992. Today it is 0.456 FTEs, and that's basically a 9-fold increase since 1992 to today's, if you calculate it all out, what it is on a per student basis. And you may know or you may not know that the way that's actually done, it's based on if you're food stamp eligible. That's how it's done. So, I think our legislative post-audit had estimated at one point in time that probably a third of our students really should not be on free and reduced lunch. So, and you may know, I'm going to just give you a little bit of kind of what the bill does, just a kind of a 30,000 foot overview. It's going to sunset in June 30th of 2017. So by that time, the plan is that we will actually have a new formula drafted, and that we will implement that. It's going to allow, I think this is one of the big things, it's going to allow the use of what is currently called supplemental cash balances. Currently, we have never been able to use those under the old formula, the current formula, whatever you want to talk about it. And to Shawnee Mission School District, I wrote down a few numbers. That is $1,700,000. To Blue Valley, it's $3,400,000. Olathe is really the big winner. That's about $4,900,000 that we have never ever been able to utilize. So I think that's helping us, and I think that's really why Superintendent Trigg and Superintendent Henson also came out in favor of that. And it also provides a lot more flexibility with how we use the funds. They don't have to be so siloed anymore, so we can move a lot of the funds transferring over to our general operating funds, where we've never really been able to do that. There are some exceptions to that, but they're just few and far between. Oh, and the other thing I think that I was actually really, really very proud also of my superintendent, and really Superintendent Trigg too. I wish that the Olathe superintendent had done the same thing, because especially probably more so maybe in my district, just because of the makeup of my district, it might not be seen as favorable, but again, I think it's because they're not educated on this particular topic. It's not that they don't want a good education, but it's very complex up there with regard to all these things. And you really have to understand. I mean, I did an in-depth evaluation of all the bills that were there, from our current school finance formula to Senate Bill 71 to the governor's plan, etc. And Johnson County came out so far ahead by doing what we did. So, but again, I think it does take a little bit of courage to come out and say, even though that people may be pushing back on you and saying, I don't want you to do that. So I was really like I said, very proud that Superintendent Henson and Trigg both did that. I know, and you may have read this, that he also came out and said that if indeed we do not cut the funding on the block grant, and I don't believe we will, I think we all know that's extremely crucial to keep this in place, that if we continue with the funding as it is, no reduction, then Shawnee Mission will be cutting class sizes, and we will also be paying for all-day kindergarten. Now that's a big thing, of which we have never been able to do before.